My instincts.
All right, listen to me.
You know what?
We have been.
Yeah, hi.
Yep,
Hi.
still
Hi,
doing
what do
it.
you have to say?
We went to the Aladdin.
cool.
We saw the Aladdin screening last night.
Are we going to talk about this movie?
I think we should. All right, listen. So in the beginning of this thing, I went in and I heard some. First of all, I heard it was a while ago. I heard not great things. Then I started hearing some okay things.
From who? Critics?
Just like whispers.
Okay.
Whispers. And so I take the daughter to go see it, and it starts off, and this is a non-spoiler review. It starts off, and I was like, this movie feels very rushed. I'm like, this movie feels very rushed. Like they take a part.
It opens with a whole new world.
No, but you're not. There's just something that happens that it was definitely. They rely on the fact that you've seen this movie before, so we know that you've seen it before, so we don't have to do that much setup. Just boom, and you're in it, and it's almost like somebody walked into the room and said, "Slow the fuck down," and they do, and once they slow down, it pops. It's fun. I enjoyed it. And you have to be able to accept. You will do yourself a disservice if you start comparing Will Smith to Robin Williams. You cannot do that. I know that
But it's so hard.
I know,
not
but
to.
you can't, because the thing is too. Are there a lot of Will Smith isms in it? Of course. But I thought he did a phenomenal job, and he made it his own. And I found myself attached to this genie, and I didn't know if I would be. And I think that the trailers do it a disservice, because because when you look at that scene that the Friend Like Me, Prince Ali, when they released that, we were like, oof. Because it almost looks like when you're walking around in Disneyland and the whole town just starts to break out in the song.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that was, and that's the way it looks as the clip. But in the movie, it just fits together kind of seamlessly, and it really works. There were some things that I was a little I thought that was maybe a little forced, but for the most part, I was on board, and I thought Naomi Scott, who a lot of people don't realize is a professional singer. She has albums. She was blowing people out of the water with how this type of song, the songs and the notes that she was hitting.
The new song that they wrote for her, which is not a spoiler because it's all over the internet.
Did you love the new song?
Was, I thought, breathtakingly beautiful. I loved it. You can listen to it now on YouTube. I thought this movie was perfect. Like, actually perfect.
Wow. That's great.
There were two moments I didn't like.
So it's not perfect.
And no, two moments that, and it's still perfect. I don't care.
Okay.
There were two moments. There were two moments.
They're doing it again.
Where Guy Ritchie did a Guy Ritchie slow-mo thing.
Yes.
Where I was like, I didn't need that.
Right.
But they're literally, it's 2 seconds of the entire movie.
Yes, Guy Ritchie style did not take over this movie.
No, I thought that he did an amazing job. I think that John August did an excellent job as well. I thought that Will Smith was incredible, and I think that if Robin Williams was here, he would be so honored by his performance. I think that he would have loved it because it was fun and it was
respectful,
really respectful. I think this movie was the best one they've done so far, live action. I loved it. I couldn't stop staying. It looked so beautiful.
It's a feel-good movie for sure. You walk
so
out feeling great, and I thought they did I thought what they did with the king, because in the original, the animated, he's kind of a bumbling moron, and he's not in this, and I think they gave him a nice arc. I like Jasmine's arc in this. Jafar, who people were worried about, I thought, because I got to be honest, I think it's because of when Mina Musad was in yesterday, and the way that he kind of pitched the way that Jafar would be in this one.
More
it's like,
heist movie.
Well, but he's also not a creepy old man.
Yeah.
He's more around kind of like the same age, just if not a little older than Jasmine and Aladdin, and he's got.
Who plays Jafar?
I can't remember the actor's name. Do you remember?
He's in a bajillion things, though. I'll pull it up.
But he's really good. He's really good in the movie, and I thought that it worked for what they were doing with it. But the standouts for sure are the chemistry between Mina Musad and Naomi Russell or Naomi Scott yep. are fantastic. And then, of course,
do you believe that they could be together? Sorry, Roxy.
I'm with him.
Yeah, but yes.
His name is Marwan Kenzari.
Okay.
So man, I was definitely, I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I was like, I'm not gonna wind up tweeting about this thing. I think it's gonna be because I thought it would be because I just come off of Dumbo.
I was gonna say.
And Dumbo was not great. And I seem to be in the minority. I liked Beauty and the Beast, and I really like Cinderella, and I loved Jungle Book. And I thought those were the three. Yeah, I thought those movies were the ones that did it the best. What they did was they take what you love about the original animated, they expand some stuff too, and they add a couple new things, but they stay pure to what we loved about the original animated films. And I thought this movie follows that.
Let me ask you this without spoilers. Did the ending make you like the beginning more?
100%.
Okay.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. And yes, because initially I was like, why are we doing this particular reason? And then when they did it, I was like, that's awesome.
That's cool.
And it makes sense and it's clever.
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought all of that was cool. The way that they play, because also at that point I wasn't as invested. When the beginning starts, I'm skeptical, and I'm like as you know, back in the comedy days when industry shows up, and their arms make me laugh, comedian.
Yeah.
I felt like that going in. It's like, all right, prove to me that that this is going to be worth watching. And by the end, I want to go back and watch it again. My daughter raving about it, loved it, and wants to go back and see it again. She's like, "That's my favorite one that I've seen so far." So it was really good.
When I was at the Brightburn screening, sitting in front of me was Snyder, and sitting behind us were two random critics that neither of us knew. And I said, "Snyder, are you going from here to Aladdin?" And he started like cackling, laughing at me, and was like, "You think I'm going to go see Aladdin? That movie is going to be awful." And I was like, "No way." And he was like, "Oh my God, I wouldn't see that movie." He was just going and going, and to the point where the two people behind me, who we did not know, said, "It's the best movie. You shut up about the movie." Like they just started going in on him.
Good. And then now they're playing him in a Schmodown next week.
They should. They should. They were attacking him. Yeah. He was like, okay. But they said that they had seen it and that it was amazing. And it was the first time I had heard glowing reviews about it. Yeah. Because from other people I'd heard that it was fine.
Well, Twitter seems to be on our side.
This movie was outstanding.
It was really cool, man. I liked it. I mean, look, there are a few different things that I definitely thought, because although I agree with you that song that you're talking about, that new song that they gave her, it's a good song. She crushes it. It fits perfectly for her arc. It felt a little forced when it starts with that particular scene.
The first time or the
no I don't want to ruin. It's not the first song. Her second song. Okay, that's the song. You talking about the first song? New song.
I don't want to say.
That's fine. Okay. Anyway, the movie comes out this Friday, and like we were just talking about before, Mina Mossad carries this movie as Aladdin, and of course Abu is great.
Unreal, unreal.
Looked good too.
I thought all of the animals in this looked great. Yeah. The bird, the monkey, the tiger. They all looked.
Raja.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So you'll dig it, man, because it had those types of feels. Yeah. Like, it had those types of feels because there was that to me proves like. You know, people will scream and yell and say there's a cash grab or, oh, why are we doing the same thing? We already have the animated. Then watch the animated. They have the right. They want to go and try to do this live action version. Let them try to do it. You don't have to see it.
I don't know though how you could be a diehard Aladdin fan and not love this movie. I think that if you don't like Aladdin, then you might not like this movie.
Well, I don't know. That liked it. When I talked, he didn't love it. That liked it, and I think this is why I said in the beginning.
Is he a diehard Aladdin fan?
He is, and
he didn't love it.
No, because I think he was I think that what he said about and what he said, and I think those criticisms were just, or not just, but they were fair. He talked about Will Smith, and he said that when Will Smith was blue, he didn't like it. He didn't like the way it looked, and he didn't like the.
He had that queued up.
Yeah, of course he does. It's Cody.
Why?
Cody.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it. He thought he was just doing. He was Will Smith being Will
Cody
Smith. He liked him as human Will Smith. And I thought, by the way, the stuff to human Will Smith, I thought that worked very well. It was a new kind of thing that they did. That it wasn't just like, oh, they just need him to be Will Smith. It fit. It fit for the story.
I'm so surprised with that. You know how when you like something, but you see how somebody else could dislike it. Right. This I don't see it.
You don't get it.
I don't get it.
All right. Well,
I don't get how somebody who's an Aladdin fan could dislike this movie.
He just didn't love Will Smith's Genie. And I think that you can. I think that a lot of people are going to have that thing.
Can I ask, is that because if Robin Williams was alive still, would people be more into
him
liking? No. I mean, like if Robin Williams, let's say, in a perfect world, and Robin Williams was alive, and Will Smith still got the part, like they were just like we're going a totally different direction. Would people be as, Or is it because like it's like the like he's sort of it's like the Heath Ledger syndrome,
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like now
Don't
it's
touch
like
it.
this like don't touch like
Right.
now it's like this glorified.
But I don't think that's why people didn't like Jared Leto. I think that I think this one's different than the Heath Ledger situation. I
Yeah.
think that Robin Williams, they created the role around him in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
and the songs around him. So
Right.
it's not like there was so much IP
That's
that
right.
something like that.
So it would probably
anybody
be
could.
people, even if Robin Williams was alive, you think people would still have the same issue?
I think a little less so, but
Yeah.
I think they would still have
Yeah, a little
an
less
issue.
also because the type of guy Robin Williams was, he'd probably endorse Will
Yeah.
Smith, and that would help. But yeah, it's because it's a beloved character. But speaking of which, I wanted to anyway. Before I jump into this next thing, I wanted to say you guys should check it out, and very curious to hear what you think. And if you're brand new to the channel, by the way, make sure you subscribe to this thing because we're going to be we do reviews here, we do there's clip outs and celebrity interviews, so it'll be a lot of fun.